Hi guys, my name is Kaya. For those of you who are new, welcome to my channel. To the ones that are not new, what's up? You already know what it is. Today's video is going to be a video that's really focused on skin and how I get my everyday glow look. It really focuses on that. So I just want to show you guys how I really get my really glowy look and how you can wear this look every day, or you can wear it out, or you can wear it to work or wherever you're going. That's what kind of look this is, that you could literally wear it anywhere and it will be appropriate. So that is what today's video is going to be about. So if you like what you see and you want to see more, just stay tuned. Now let's get to the video. So for my everyday look, and for it to look as glowy and glammy as possible, even though it's pretty effortless and I don't really do much, kind of do much, but it's not a lot because I don't do a lot to my eyes, but it still looks like a look that you can wear throughout the day, as well as like an everyday look. And you can also wear it at night if you're going out. Like I really would rock this look if I'm going out at night because that's just how glam it looks. So the first thing that I do is I like to make sure that I prime and prep my face very well. My go-to products when I do this look are very limited and small, but I first spray my face with a setting spray prep spray. So this is the Melanin Make It Last spray. Then I also do some moisturizer. I usually always use my Ole Henriksen Sheer Transformation moisturizer. And then I also have the Smashbox primer. This primer does a really good job with just smoothing out my face, and it makes the foundation and the powders and the glow and everything just look very smooth. So I really love this primer. It is pricey, so if you don't like this one, but if you don't really want to spend that much money, you can also use the NYX Angelville primer. This is a really good primer as well. They both kind of do the same thing to me, which is really just perfect the skin and smooth the skin out. So these are like my go-to primers, but I'm going to stick with the Smashbox one today for today's tutorial. Like I said, yeah, everything's pretty limited what I do to prep and prime my face, so I'm just going to use these three babies right here to get my skin prepped. I kind of do my brows different lately. They're more filled in than they used to be, more spacey and sparsy with, you know, just like little gaps in it. And I really didn't mind it much, but now I'm really liking the full brow look. So if you guys like my brows, let me know and I will upload a updated eyebrow tutorial for you guys. Now just to add a little glow to my skin before I apply my foundation, I like to use the Anastasia Liquid Glow. This is in the shade Peach Fizz. So I just apply it to the areas that I usually apply my highlight. And I'm just going to blend that out with my beauty sponge. Since I like for my skin to look as radiant as possible when I do this look, I usually like to go for foundations that are non-matte or mattifying. So the foundations that I usually use, depending on where I'm going, because I try not to use such a high-end foundation if I'm not really going anywhere, you know what I'm saying? So these are my two choices. I usually use the NARS All Day Luminous foundation in the shade Macao, or I will use the Milani Conceal and Perfect foundation, and this is in the shade 11A Nutmeg. If you can kind of see, I've kind of used quite a bit of it. It's almost empty. And this one, of course, is a little bit more expensive. It runs for like $48, $49 in Sephora, Ulta, or on their website. This one is about around, I think, 11 or 12. I'll double check on that. So these are the two foundations that I usually use when I do this look. So today I'm going to use the Milani foundation. I'm going to shake this up. Usually how I just apply it is I just spray it onto the face. Zigzag motions. A little bit goes a long way. I learned that with this foundation, so I learned that I don't have to apply as much as I thought because it's just very covering. So a nice full coverage foundation to me. And then I'm just going to blend that out. If you're like me and you set your eyes and you like to connect the powder that you set it with in between your eyes, make sure you also go over that area with your foundation, just because it's going to end up making things look more blended and together. The trick is, don't apply as much foundation, just go over it lightly so that way everything just blends in together. See, we already have a natural looking, glowy looking face. My next step in this process is concealer. I like to make sure that I have a concealer that is usually bright enough, because I really want my under eyes to look as brightened as possible. So usually I go with a concealer that is like maybe like a shade lighter than me, which eventually it just blends into my skin that it looks like nothing's really there. But I really have been liking using a shade that's a little bit 2 shades lighter, 3 shades lighter than my skin tone, because I really like that highlighted look underneath my eyes. So today's concealer that I use is the NYX Scotch Cover Concealer. I've actually had this concealer since probably about 2015, and the shelf life of this is 24 months. So I'm pretty sure, you know, it's past its shelf life, and I had stopped using it because I just wasn't liking how it felt. It's a very thick concealer, so I don't know if you guys like thick concealers. If you don't like thick concealers, maybe try the LA Girl Pro Conceal. But this is a concealer that I've been liking lately, so this is the one that I'm going to use. I've been using it for the past 2 weeks, so it's grown back on me and I really like it. So it does not have an applicator, it actually squirts out like this. So I've been using the Real Techniques this is a concealer foundation brush. It's already been used, which is why it looks like that. And also, just so you know, today's look is being done with just these brushes here. So we're using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 brushes. This one is used for blush. This one's used for my concealer. This one is used for my contour. This one's used for my inner corner highlight. This one is used for my nose contour. This one is used for my ultimate glow that you guys are going to see soon. This one is used just to dust away the powder, any powder that I use. And then this one is used to basically just add a little color to my eyes. So I'm going to use this brush, and I'm just going to apply the concealer onto the brush. Like so. And then we're just going to place this under my eyes, or my chin, not my nose, so I don't really like doing my nose as much, maybe just the tip of my nose. And then we're going to go right here over my mouth and on my forehead. And just let that sit on my face for probably about just like 20 seconds, because the concealer kind of dries pretty quick, and I wanted to make sure that it sinks into my skin enough that when I blend it out, the color is still there, so you can see that it's lightened up my face a little bit. So now I'm just going to go in my beauty blender and blend this out, and make sure you blend it lightly so that way you don't take any of the color away. My nose is really cupped on the side, so what I have to do is move my nose over to make sure that I get into the sides of my nose. To set my face, I use the Sacha Buttercup setting powder. This powder usually turns your skin just a little yellow, but since my undertone is pretty yellow, I like how it reacts to my skin and how it sets my skin. It makes your skin look super smooth. I like the color payoff that it gives. So to set it, I'm going to go underneath my eye to make sure that there are no creases. Then take the Real Techniques powder, the Real Techniques brush, the Real Techniques sponge, and set underneath my eyes. Now I look like a little yellow person. So I usually let this powder sit while I bronze and contour my face, and then I'll wipe it off afterwards. So I'm going to use the Ebony, this is the CoverGirl bronzer in the shade Ebony, which you can see I've hit pan, so it's almost gone. And then just to add a little bit more depth into my cheeks when I'm contouring, I use the MAC blush, and this is in the shade Film Noir. So I'm going to use this brush, like I said, to contour. So I'm just going to rub what powder I can get out of this. Start up as high as possible. And just bronze. And I'm using a light hand when I do this. Go over the forehead a little. And before I wipe away the powder, I also like to contour my nose. So I'm going to use this NYX bronzer in the shade Deep Tan, as well as the bronzer from this Makeup Forever Pro Sculpting Duo. This is in number 2. And I'm using this Morphe Y18 brush to contour my nose. The trick for your nose contour, if you get too close to, if you get too wide, or if you even make it a little too dark, the reason why I wait to wipe away the powder is because it will just dim down that nose contour a little bit. When I'm wiping away the powder, it'll just blend it out so that way you don't see the harsh lines as much. Next, I'm going to go in with that MAC powder. And I do dab the brush in there lightly because this blush is very pigmented. And then you just make a defined line right underneath your bronzer, because it's going to create a jawbone for you. To clean up the contour, go back in with the Sasha. Then we take the Real Technique fluffy brush and we wipe away all this powder. Now we have a nice set face, nice color, good contour. Now we are going to go into blush. Today I'm using the MAC Raisin Blush. I'm using this fiber brush that's been used obviously from, this is from BH Cosmetics, but it might have had writing on it before, but it doesn't anymore, so I don't know what number it is, but I'm just going to dab it in there, tap off the excess, and then go lightly to rose up the cheeks a little bit and add a little color back to the face. Like so. Into the highlight and the glow, I'm going to go ahead and apply some lashes off camera. I'm using the Cocoa lashes, and these are in the style Carrie. I've worn them before, so I'm going to get these applied and then I'll be back. Before I apply the lashes, what I'm going to do is add a little color to my eyes. I use the same contour powder that I use on my face to add into my eyes, just to add a little bit more depth and dimension to the eyes so that way they don't look so bare and plain and small. So I'm going to use this little fluffy brush, go into this contour powder, and it doesn't even have to be perfect. You're literally adding it like it's a transition shade. So I just go above my crease and add some bronzer powder. And now we have a little bit of color in the eyes. Okay guys, I'm back and I have my lashes on now. Also put some mascara on my bottom lashes as well. Mascara I use today is the They're Real mascara from Benefit, as well as the Perversion mascara. I use Perversion mascara on my top lashes and the They're Real mascara from Benefit on the bottom. So now we get to the fun part. Now I'm going to highlight my face because I feel like this is really what brings the look together. Highlighters that I like to use a lot lately, especially for this look, it is the Makeup Forever Pro Sculpting Duo. I highlight this right here, which you can see has been dug into pretty well, as well as the Artist Couture Illuminati highlight. These are loose powders, but oh my god, they're so gorgeous. Like they just, oh, they're so banging. Like, it's amazing. So to apply the highlight, I like to use my Morphe M501 brush, and I just basically rub into the powder really well so that it's nice and coated. And then I just go onto the face lightly, and I just keep going back and forth until the color buildup is just how I like it. I feel like this shade is good on like any skin tone. That's the type of glow this gives off. I'm just going to add some up to the forehead as well. So wherever the light hits, you see a glow. I already see it super well. And I like to go pretty heavy at the top of my lip. I want there to be as much glow as possible sitting up there. Then I get onto this chin. What I'm going to do is move into this Sigma shader crease brush, but I just really like how small it is. It gets into areas really nice. So I'm going to take the same highlight to go on my nose. Now we're going to go into the Illuminati highlighter from Artist Couture highlight, because like I said, I like for my highlight to be super extreme. Look at this. And to finish off the face, I'm going to spray my face just a little bit with the spray, because I don't like for it to rehydrate my face. I like for it to look set how it is. Some days, depending on how much powder I use, I will like drench my face in setting spray. But since I didn't use as much powder today, it doesn't need that whole recertified glow, because the glow that I have going on now is already enough glow. And to finish off the look, I'm just going to go with one of my everyday lip colors. I use this brown liner, and it's from Wet n Wild. They're like $1 at Five and Below, so I bought a bunch of them because I love lining my lips with brown liner. And then I'm going to use this Bare Minerals liquid lipstick. It is in the shade Juju. And then to top that, I just use the clear gloss from Maybelline. And that completes this look, guys. This is basically how I get my everyday super glowy look. If you really like how this look turned out and you're going to take some tips and tricks for me, just make sure you thumbs up the video. I would really appreciate it. If you aren't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe to my channel to help the fam grow. I really appreciate it. Thanks guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.